let's quickly talk about Trump and what happened when he was at his rally in Oklahoma, where he decided to use the term Kung Flu about the coronavirus.
Second question is, there are some, at least one White House official who used the term Kung Flu, referring to the fact that this virus started in China. Is that acceptable? Is it wrong? Are you worried that having this virus be talked about as a Chinese virus, that might...
I wonder who said that. You know who said that?
I'm not sure the person's name, but would you condemn the fact...
Say the term again.
A person at the White House used the term Kung Flu. My question is, do you think that's wrong, Kung Flu? And do you think using the term Chinese virus, that puts Asian Americans at risk, that people might target that?
No, not at all. I think they probably would agree with it 100%. It comes from China.
That was an old exchange which happened in the briefing room. He then ended up turning around and saying something along those lines. But Rita, you got a good point here. There's a lot of people who want to shit-can the number of people who were physically inside that stadium, but there was millions of people who watched it on television. So for people who want to pretend the only people who saw it were the people in the room, they're kind of missing the fact that there were lots of people who were watching it in their living room.
Yes, I think more than 7 million. And for Fox News, one of the networks that was carrying the speech live, they got their biggest ratings for a Saturday ever. So the audience was huge. And, you know, whether there was 6,000 or 19,000 there, that's not really the critical factor. And the fact that kids or adults probably were using TikTok to overinflate the registered numbers and to secure tickets that they weren't going to use. I think that's just a lesson for the Trump campaign. They just know now that that is something that's going to happen, and there'll be several easy ways to counter that. So it's just been interesting that the fixation has been on that crowd figure when Biden has been doing these live streams where at times there's like 100-odd people on there.
Yeah, exactly right. No, you're exactly right.
No one talks about that. No one talks about that. You know, he's been hiding in his basement, and meanwhile, Trump is being viewed by millions in their homes. I mean, surely that is something that should be noted when you're talking about the low crowd at that particular rally.
Well, once you put together the ratings which were on CNN, which was 2.2, MSNBC 1.9, it's 11.1 million people who watched it on television.
How funny is Kung Flu? I hadn't heard that until that. I'm sure to see I made that up, Kung Flu. I mean, he's got a great sense. I reckon that's hilarious. And I've always said about Trump, in his sense of humour, he's half Australian. That's something we'd come up with.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But also, I mean, this thing where
he did a whole routine about the water. Remember a couple of weeks ago,
we couldn't drink
were having a go at him about he was walking down a ramp funny. So he did the whole ramp routine, and then he did the whole water routine. And I tell you, you're right, Paul, his comedic timing is brilliant. He's funnier than 95% of modern comics. He should have a late night show when he gives up the presidency.
Yeah, he used to have a show.
All right. Well, another. We'll wait.
He did have a show.
Yeah, we'll wait another 4 years. He's got an important job to do after being re-elected. But also about the rally, about the testing stuff that was there. Can we get to Trump talking about how he was? Well, this is what he said about testing. Have a look.
We've tested now 25 million people. When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
Again, Mark, does anyone think that he's giving a deposition? Like, he's I mean, for goodness sake.
Well, he's been around a long while, 3 or 4 decades, property developer, a TV host, raconteur, celebrity, going out with lots of very attractive women. People have known Donald Trump for a long, long while, and he's president for over 3 years now. Wouldn't they know there are just certain things he doesn't actually mean it?
Yeah.
You have to have a president who every single thing he says is 100% earnest. No room for levity, satire, cynicism, anything.
On a Saturday night. You can't take the piss on a Saturday night.
No, as you said, their heads have exploded, but the poor old left, they've had a transplant from the humour gene. They're completely humourless, these people. It's a sad, sad human condition, not to never laugh.
Agree completely. Rita?
Well, that's the difference between the Trump haters and the Trump supporters. The haters just judge him on what he says and what they imagine he means and what he tweets, and his supporters judge him on what he actually does. And the fact that they are doing so many tests, I think, is what you judge him on. And if you actually wanted to slow down tests, and I mean, it gets too much, the Trump derangement, don't you think?
Oh,
there
mate,
is
it's exhausting.
so much of it that it is exhausting trying to debunk every single item.
No, it's true,
day.
but this is part of the tactic, right? And this is where the modern left psychological warfare, which is to create as much noise as possible so that it is so deafening that you at one point go, I give up the fight because the noise is so loud, or I won't vote for the guy because I can't put up with 4 more years of this hysterics. Don't cop it, see through it, cut through it like the hot knife, like through butter.